Hi everyone, it's Nathara, and today I'm going to be going over the new scene pack, Late Aria. I know this one's been out for a little bit, and I'm so sorry it took me so long to get to this one, but I did have to go over all the encores, and then there was the Wonder Box and everything. But today, at least, I'm going to be going over this one right here, and just a quick reminder, you only get what's listed in the pack contents right here. You do not get this display outfit. So today I'm going to be going over the chat bubble Black Cat Coco. Obviously already a win in my book, I already know that. The still pose Muse Invitation, very cute. Also, this entire suit is basically the Clockwork set with the bracelets from the Forest Reverence set. And by the way, Clockwork, its socks and gloves are messed up. You can actually see the texture imbalance on the doll's legs right now. It looks super weird. The texture is like, I can't tell if it's backwards or just upside down or what, but her calf right there is looking super crazy. I'm also going to go over the scene ribbon window, of course, and then the dynamic pose Moonlight Waltz. Here is where the outfit is from. Most of it is also from the Forest Reverence set, like the dress, the necklace, the bracelet, the gloves, the earrings. The hair is actually from this 6-star set right here, and the socks are from here, and the shoes are actually nothing that we have on Global because they are from this is a spoiler, a 6-star light chase called Tipsy Luan. It's a loose item from that, so we don't even have that on Global, and so they're kind of just teasing us with it by putting them on in this, but I digress. That's where this outfit is from, and of course you can find a copy of this in my fashion diary. Alright, and here's a look at the scene as a whole. You are in a kind of like very dark room that is very much only half furnished. You do have this little like staircase over here that goes nowhere. It just goes into the wall. It's just a little cubby up here. There is nothing inside of it whatsoever. It just ends right there, and then of course this entire area is furnished, which you can see from most of the dynamic pose whenever you are first like looking at it and everything. Pianos and plants, and there's bouquets on the floor, which I kind of like, because considering that she's like just dancing around drinking wine, I kind of just imagine that she plucked up a thing of flowers out of one of the vases. Actually, I don't see any vases, but she's just pulling all the flowers out and throwing them around. I don't know what's going on. Maybe she found out her lover is cheating on her or something, and she's like, you know what? These flowers mean nothing, so she's just making a mess and drinking and playing the piano. I don't know. Rich girl things, it sounds like. The scene is very dark. Lots of moonlight comes in. There is a patio outside, but as you can tell, it kind of like gets cut off really sharply and goes into like this abyss. A nice little fireplace that does not really give off too much of a glow, at least not where the doll origin point is. So it doesn't really mess with you. I really do like the decor though, like this hanging flower cage. I honestly might have to put that in my house in real life because I kind of really like that. And it's a good use of like a repurposing of old bird cages that are not fit for birds anymore. I think that would be nice. As for outside on the patio, it's just this one bush and nothing else. But it is good that you can actually just look inside. So if you want to get any pictures where you're looking through the window at your doll, that would be nice. You can definitely do that. You do have one random stool in the scene right over here. I'm not sure what that's about. A little oddly placed. There's a nice chandelier though from the ceiling, and I do like that there are decals on the ceiling to really tie in that bougie aesthetic that the rest of the walls have. Alright, and for our posable area, this is how far you can go forward. I can't really show you the entire thing because she clips out of the walls and everything. This is how far forward and to the left you can go. And then as you start going back, you do dip out of the windows, so you can be all up in the windows and everything. and she hits just in that bush, and then you can start coming back in, and she glides along the wall, disappears right next to that fireplace, and then you just can't see anything for a very long time. And then I'm gonna bring her back forward. She pops right back in over there. So this entire like displayed area is posable for sure. There is no sink in this scene, so you can't sink down at all. And let me check to see if the furniture is actually doll size. Sometimes, you know, it gets a little weird and they don't, but it does look like, at least for my doll, she can sit on this little piano bench right here and look completely normal. And then let's check the back seat. Spoiler alert for like a little glow spot if you want to add some warmth. Right there next to the piano, I think it's the light casting off of the fire. So you can also be sitting in the seat over here, though the seat itself has a lot of that firelight on it, so it doesn't really look all that normal, which is a shame. It would be cool. I would definitely put one of like my masculine looking dolls in this seat. I think that would be pretty good looking, you know, like if any of y'all read manhwa or whatever, you know, there's always that scene with like the male lead next to the fireplace smoking a cigar, drinking like a glass of whiskey or something. That's what this shot would have reminded me of if this seat wasn't lit from within with all of this orange light. But good news, there is at least one other seat, though it doesn't really give off the same vibes. It is that little circle seat right there. Also another glow spot. Where did it go? It's in there. You saw it, right? She like, oh yeah, there we go. I'm not sure where the light is coming from for that. And this is as high as you can go, so I don't think your camera can get up above the ceiling. Can it? Oh, it can. However, your doll cannot go any higher. So even though you can get up here with the camera, your doll cannot. And plus there's no stars, but the gradient is pretty nice. And here is the lighting compared to the regular blue scene. Now, I do not like this lighting because it's got that harsh white light that casts onto your doll. There's a few scenes that do this lighting and I don't like it. It's way too hard for me to use. I don't like how it looks on my doll and you can't get rid of it. I've tried to move her around in the scene so much and like it just stays there. It doesn't give Moonlight is like draping itself on her. To me, she's got a spotlight on her and not in a good way. And it's not the only scene that does that. Now this is an extreme example, but this scene also does it really harshly like that. I do not like the lighting in this scene. It makes it so hard to use, but because like I want to use this scene. Like this scene is so cool whenever you look at it and everything, but like the lighting is so harsh. I do not want that much lighting. I just feel like if this is Moonlight, it shouldn't be so harsh. Like the way it hits everything inside of the room, it looks so soft and like I said earlier, it looks romantic. But here on the doll, it just looks so harsh and it makes it look not cohesive enough with the scene, and maybe that's why it's so offish for me. Here is your lighting from the front. Your lighting from the right, it is super, super orange, surprisingly. Probably because of that fire that's coming off, but like I was super shocked whenever I first saw this. I was like, oh, I mean, this is probably how I'm going to be using this scene actually, with the camera coming from this angle, just because I like this light so much more than I like the harshness of that other light that comes in. I mean, you can still see it, but it's not as bad for me and my stylings. And here it is from the back. Again, it's very bright because of the fire and everything, and I will be able to use this one quite well as well, though the only problem I have is that technically the white light should be coming and hitting the doll from the right now, but it's still hitting her from the left, even though there's no windows over there. Super weird nitpick, but you know, it happens. And here is the lighting from the left. This is us facing the windows with the fire coming from the left as well, or like the back side, you know. So I don't like this angle for lighting at all. It's not for me. There's too many harsh lights and everything, and it doesn't provide any good like defining shadows on the opposite side. It's just too many light angles and sources coming from weird ways for me. And oh my gosh. And here is the lighting, at least on the face. I don't know if anybody else is getting this glitch where your new doll tone is glitching out. Actually, let me just see if I can fix it by redoing the group invite. Let me undress her, get all of that makeup and stuff off, and cross your fingers. Yay! Okay, now this is the lighting on the palest and darkest shade. Again, you can see, sorry if you guys can hear that jet outside. I live very, very close to an airport. But the lighting, again, is very harsh. It has a massive white cast from all of that moonlight over there. You can see it a lot on the darker doll. It does look very, very blue on her, but I kind of like it on her more than I like it, at least on my doll. I guess the blue and my doll's tone, it's very yellowy, so that harshish blue-white light doesn't look good on her, but I think it looks pretty good on the darker doll, and it's kind of hard to see on the paler doll, except for her hair, because her hair is black, but the lighting actually looks pretty good on both of these two. I just don't like it on my main doll, personally. But of course, if you put on a darkening filter, this scene is already super dark to begin with, so you're really just going to be losing a lot of details. And of course, with your halo, if you bump that up, it's going to be super glowy, so yeah. But I mean, most of you know that by now. And here is our still pose Muse Invitation. It is just a dancerly pose. I do like how her feet are a little bit in line with each other and her hands are done. However, I'm glad that this is a still pose, but I do feel like we can get this pose in a few dynamic poses that we already have, or at least that I already have. I'm a pose collector, so I've got a lot of poses. So this doesn't give me anything really new, except for the fact that it's still, and I do not have to fight with a dynamic pose to get a nice dancerly shot. Also, she's got all the blue light hitting her on the left side and all the orange light hitting her on the back side. I didn't notice that before until I took off all the clothes. Yeah, the pose is fine by itself. Let's go ahead and put some handhelds on and check that out. Oh my gosh, I'm still in camera mode. Let's go ahead to character so we can spin her around. Actually, this is pretty cute, you know? I like that. That's adorable. Okay, let's go on with a different one. I could see this one being useful. Maybe. Let's try within the front. I don't like it too much in the front, but it's still cute. Actually, no, I do like it from this angle. It looks pretty good. I had it right here. It could be cute. It could be cute. I could definitely see that working. And let's see. Let's get another one. This one I won't ever use, for sure. I might use a right handheld, but I don't think I'll ever use a left handheld because I don't like how that right arm is just up in the air by itself, unless you're trying to do like a teacher over here sort of thing, the half-length pose. That might work, maybe. And here she is with focus on. And here's our dynamic pose without the dynamic camera on, and already I can see that she's using the environment, which, I mean, we can tell right from the get-go whenever she's playing the piano and picking up the cup, which I love. But I really do like that she's running her hands along the piano right there at the get-go. I think that's super cute. We're playing the piano. It would have been nice had they incorporated, like, using the foot pedals down there, you know, even if they, like, totally missed. At least they tried. I will turn this back around as well so we can see her face, because this one I feel like needs to be done from multiple different angles. Lots of swirls and everything. Oh, I like that she goes up on her toes when she spins. That's really cute. All right, now let's get a different angle on this. Okay, let's see it again. It's going to be a little weird because the lighting is going to be off because we are off on this side, but again, she's just playing the piano, plucks up that glass, raising a toast, tips her head back, swipes the keys. Maybe there's a couple usable poses. Oh gosh, she went too far. I do like that end pose. And let's just take away the handheld really quick and skim. And then actually let's go and check to see if our other cups will work, because that one clearly just comes with the scene to use, so it is a 3D asset. in the game. So Amber Liquor is gonna work. And Mysterious Night is the one that comes with the scene. So if you do have that, you can probably change out the colors of it to match your outfit, which is good. But I'm mostly concerned about the other cups. Where are they? Oh my gosh, does that vase work? No. That would be funny if it did though. This one, Abyss of Bliss. Oh, it works, yay. And then we have one more, Soul Flame Aura. Awesome. I'm so happy that one works. I was really curious about that. And I don't think we have any other like chalice type cups, but I'm going to check really quick. Alright, so I did check our other cups, our like coffee cups and our smoothie cups, and none of them work. So it is just going to be your chalice type cups and your champagne glasses. And here's the expression for Muse Invitation. It is a look up side eye, which I actually do like because it looks natural, you know, because the eyes are open a little bit more. Anytime I try to do a look up side eye, it really doesn't all like come across that well because the eye shape itself isn't all that oriented for it. So I like that this one is that way. However, I wish they would have done something with the mouth, you know, like it's just very blank. But I mean, I can definitely use this one. It's just I wish it was a bit more expressive. And as for the Moonlight Waltz dynamic expression, from watching the dynamic pose, I don't think there's going to be too much to it. Ooh, I take that back. That one, well, I mean, it was just, ooh, goodness, actually, that one weird smile in there could definitely be used for when I want something a little bit unsettling. That looked like a yawn. Wow. I don't know how to feel about that. The way the eyes are shaped, you know, she looks, ooh, this would be good for like those crazy clowns, you know what I'm saying? Because like she's looking a little, ooh. Yeah, that's what that'll be good for. Aside from those kind of demented smiles, there's just a bunch of regular smiles in here. A little bit of a yawn. Also, I cannot with this light. Oh my gosh, it's bugging me. It's on her eyelids. It's so weird. There is some like regular expressions in here too, but nothing too exaggerated besides the cookie smiles. Not bad. I don't know how often I'll use it though. And now I'm going to click for the I'm going to click through the filters so you can see how you might be able to change the ambiance of this scene. Again, it's a very dark scene to begin with, so any darkening filter is really gonna send it into too dark of levels. So I don't know. So far, I'm not the biggest fan of this scene. Mostly the lighting. Like, if the lighting were a little bit better, I might be able to get more use out of it. But I don't know, maybe I'll be able to brighten it up a bit. Maybe I will find a spot where that lighting isn't so harsh and I'll be able to get more use out of it. Because as of now, it seems like they are gatekeeping that one dark castle ballroom. So this is going to be like my next best option to replace that one since they refused to give us that one. But here's our vignette. Again, the scene's already very dark. I don't know how dark you want to push it. Did I take off that other filter? I did not. Okay, let's ignore that. Here's our vignette. We'll pretend that didn't happen. But, like I said, this scene's already pretty dark to begin with, but I do kind of like how it looks over here with the window whenever you have the vignette on and the shrieks are still coming in. It's very romantic. As for our halo, I actually kind of like it. Turned up pretty high. It's pretty nice. Let me turn it all the way up though, just so we can see. Not too bad. It doesn't get over like blooming bright, at least. For a DOF. Oh, the flowers looked a little glitchy right there, made me nervous. For our white balance. kind of like it like that too. It warms it up a bit. Oh gosh, not that far. And our saturation. There isn't too much color in here. You can definitely see it blooming in the fire over there and a bit on the petals, but nothing else really like gets crazy. For your contrast, not bad. As for hotspots and posing, I did already go in depth about the seats and everything, and there is a few glow spots, especially like the one that was over here with the seat. Of course, now I'm not going to be able to get her into it. Maybe you have to be seated to get that to work. That would actually suck. Let me try it really quick. I cannot stand that it resets where your doll goes. That irritates me so much. I don't know why it's like that. Alright, so it does actually look like you have to be seated. Maybe I just wasn't hitting it. But yeah, it's over here. You can see it whenever she hits in that moonlight a little bit. And then there's a bit right here in the piano. It's kind of hard to see. But she gets a little orange from that other light. It would be cute if you had one person playing the piano and then another doll kind of like on top of the piano, like maybe one of the girl models or something, dressed up really cutely and just in there. I don't know, kind of like Alice in Wonderland topsy-turvy sort of styling, if that makes sense. I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cute. And of course, the chair over here, although I don't think it's very usable if you are looking at it straight on. You might be able to use it if the camera still stays on the back side and you have your doll seated facing the fire and you're just going for a back shot, I guess. That might work. I have used this little corner over here for posing so far. If any of y'all, I think it was like a couple videos ago, I was seated in a moon and I had her over here in the moon streaks, which I thought was really pretty. Also, I think this painting is absolutely hilarious. It's dinosaurs. Like, it's so random to have a painting of dinosaurs mixed in with all of this stuff. I don't think many people have noticed it either, so I think that's kind of cute. I wouldn't pose outside at all because there's nothing out there, and I would just be in that area with the piano mostly because I can't use that other chair. And again, that like one little cubby hole for the statues, if you wanted to pretend to be like one of these statues right here, you can do that over here in this, but the texture on this area over here is quite subpar, so maybe not, unless you're going to retexture it yourself, like in Photoshop or any photo editing thing yourself. Also, look at the leather on this stool right here. That's actually pretty impressive. Ooh, does that say shining? I feel like they're pushing their luck with that one. Didn't they just get in trouble for having the same avatar, or at least something really close to Infinity Nikki's or Shiny Nikki's avatar thing? I feel like they could have just put another word there or just left it blank. We'll see. Maybe that's just not close enough, you know? The scene as itself is alright in my opinion. I don't know how much I'll use it because I don't like the effect that it has on clothes. Like, it's not so bad if you have like on an all white outfit. I mean, I don't have one on right here, but I mean, it doesn't look as bad. I do see a lot of that light hitting on the black tulle skirt, which I don't like. I'd rather that just be black, because we have many scenes that are inside that also have windows coming in, and there's none of that like super harsh light. That's just not there. And we also have this one, even again, it's still here, but it's not as harsh. It's a little bit softer, especially in the hair. That's like the main area I'm looking at. It's just not as cutthroat and dry, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not so harsh. And I don't know why the lighting in this other one is so harsh. Like, did you see that? Like, do you see that difference? Like, it's crazy how defined the lines get for me, and I'm not going to be able to take really good pictures with my clothes because most of the time I'm just trying to show off the outfit. And if half the outfit, like if you look at my doll right here, she's like, you can't even see like the detail of the lace on her chest whenever she's gone this way because it's just like completely lit out. So yeah, I don't know. That's one of the issues I have with this scene. I might be able to use it, like I said, if I have my camera turned around. Actually, let me just see what they look like turned around really quick, because I'm sitting here talking about it and I should actually just do it so you guys can see too. Oh my goodness gracious. She got lit up. Look at that. Alright, so this again is the lighting from the back. She got super bright. I kind of like that. I wonder if we can DOF that background out. Ooh, I can see this working for some stuff. Ooh, okay, anyway, I'm getting distracted. We're supposed to be looking at the clothes and see how the light looks on the clothes. So yeah, even still, like it's like lighting out the lace and everything. Of course, I can just turn her. Let me see, focus. I mean, that's not too bad, but again, I don't know how I feel about the lighting in the hair. Let's turn up contrast just a bit. I'm so sorry if this is not helpful to anybody. I'm just trying to figure out this scene and how I might be able to make it work for myself and anyone else who's having issues with it. Let me drop down that halo. Actually, turn vignette up. Let me put on a filter. Not that filter, that looks awful. Anyway, I am struggling and I'm probably gonna have to sit here for a while to try and figure this out myself and see how I might be able to make it work for me, because I did already purchase it and it's already mine. So, and I don't like to just like have things wasted, so I'm gonna try and find a way to make this work for me. It's just unfortunate that right from the get-go I can't see too many ways to make it work, except for on a like super white outfit with like one of my pale dolls. That way that harsh white light actually blends in a bit more and doesn't stand out so much. As for our chat bubble, Black Cat Coco, she's obviously super adorable. I love that it is completely black and white, and of course the black text is going to look phenomenal right here because it just matches so perfectly. Plus, it's a cat in a cup. What's not to love about that? Really, I love it. But you know, I'm a cat person, so it's an automatic win for me. And that is everything I have for the late Aria scene pack. I do hope you found this helpful and useful in deciding if you would like to add it to your collection or not. As always, in my description below, I have a link to my tracker where you can see all the past scenes and even some of the spoiler ones from MYSG to see if you would like to either wait for an encore or see if you like one of the new ones that are about to come. So yeah, that's everything. If you've got any questions or concerns, let me know in the comments and I'll try and get back to them. But besides that, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye!